The Witcher 3 is one of the greatest games ever created. Incredible world, memorable characters, and literally the best DLC that has ever been released. But what if I told you that the story of The Witcher 3 may not be over just yet, 10 years after the game was actually released? CD Projekt Red has a little fetish for giving their fans content. They literally cannot help themselves, and if the recent rumours are true, then it may be happening once again here in the world of The Witcher. Now, we already know that we have The Witcher 4 coming with a recent tech demo showcase, and it is also known that the legendary and very underrated Witcher 1 is also being remade. Now, let me quickly touch on this entire Witcher 1 situation, as it will be important for later in the video. But before we do that, if you do enjoy videos just like this, please be sure to consider subscribing. So, The Witcher 1 Remake was actually announced all the way back in October 2022 under the codename Canis Majoris. I think I said that right. Now, this remake is officially titled The Witcher Remake and is being developed by Fool's Theory with creative supervision from CD Projekt Red. Now, this project is rebuilt from the very ground up using Unreal Engine 5 to bring it up to modern day standards with an open world format and a revamped gameplay experience. So, this is important for a few reasons. One, because The Witcher 1 needs a remake because it is an absolutely incredible game with a fantastic story, and two is because of the people who are actually working on this project, Fool's Theory. Because rumours surrounding Fool's Theory creating a brand new Witcher 3 DLC have also surfaced all the way in Poland. Now, just if you don't know who Fool's Theory actually are, they were founded all the way back in 2015 by a collective of very experienced developers, one being a former lead quest designer for The Witcher 3. As well as making their own unique titles, they actually do provide help to other big name studios on their own projects, the most recent being Baldur's Gate 3. And now, obviously, The Witcher 1 Remake and a DLC for The Witcher 3 potentially. Now, to clarify what the rumours were actually saying about this Witcher 3 DLC, it was expected to come around 2026 and is going to be a story-driven DLC. Now, apparently this project is in its early stages, however, multiple sources have confirmed that it has been designed as a way to bridge The Witcher 3 and The Witcher 4 with a strong focus on Ciri to establish some sort of canon. Now, if I'm just speaking truthfully here, I'm not too convinced that if we was to get a Witcher 3 DLC that it would be you playing as Ciri. I don't think that's the route they would personally take, so I'm not too sure on this. I believe that Ciri could be involved in some sort of capacity for sure, and I would look at it as an opportunity to try and bridge The Witcher 3 to The Witcher 4. However, I just don't think Ciri might be necessarily a playable character in this or the main focal point, because I think it'll be Geralt. Where we left off with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, it wrapped up obviously an amazing story with the Blood and Wine DLC, and many have expressed actual concern that it was sort of like that perfect ending, that it doesn't need anything additional. We all know that when this saga closed, Blood and Wine ended up as one of the greatest expansions ever made. Hours of new content and arguably a new region that was a lot prettier than anything in the base game. And I don't think it's a stupid thing to say that whatever DLC that comes out for The Witcher, I don't think it's going to be able to match anywhere near the scope of the DLC of Blood and Wine. And with all due respect to Fool's Theory, they're a fantastic company who've worked on many amazing projects, including the Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty DLC. However, if it's going to be outsourced to another company with supervision of CD Projekt Red, I just can't imagine it even matching up to a DLC of the scale of Hearts of Stone. However, that does absolutely not mean that this DLC will necessarily be bad just because it's smaller. We recently saw when The Witcher 3 added additional content years later with a recent side quest that was up to about an hour long. It's like I said earlier, CD Projekt Red just has that fetish of wanting to give their fans even more content. And I don't think an additional DLC, no matter even if it is little smaller than the previous two, is going to harm the legacy of this game in any way whatsoever, because I can personally imagine that this is going to be a free DLC anyway, maybe with the addition if you've purchased Blood and Wine. We also know that in May 2025, CD Projekt Red actually announced one more major patch coming in 2026 that is actually going to be bringing full cross-platform mod support to consoles. Now, this feature has actually been pushed back for quite a while now, purely because CD Projekt Red just wanted to get it right. Now, while simultaneously confirming that the game is still actively being worked on by a skeleton crew, so I don't necessarily think it's outside the realm of possibilities that we we see this DLC dropped alongside mod support for all consoles. To quickly dive into what we could possibly see in this DLC, I already touched on it earlier that a lot of rumors are suggesting that it is a way to bridge The Witcher 3 to The Witcher 4. Now, this can entail so many different things. Are we going to be playing in Kovia with whole new areas? Are we just going to see new quests added to places that we've already been to? I think the most sensible and most reasonable answer out of all of these different possibilities and all of these different outcomes would be just to say that we're going to get some sort of story-driven content based in some areas that we've already been, whether that be White Orchard, Skellige, Velen, anywhere. I don't think that we're going to be seeing new areas such as Kovia, for example, for numerous different reasons. One, purely because I think they're trying to save that whole mysterious factor of Kovia, experience it for the very first time, for when we actually play The Witcher 4, rather than giving it to us in The Witcher 3 in some content. I also don't think we're going to be seeing many new areas purely because of the scale of this DLC. Like I previously said, it's been outsourced to Fool's Theory, who I can imagine, although they are very capable of doing stuff like this, aren't going to be designing a whole new area from the ground up. And I think in all honesty, it's probably for the best that it is this way. It is best that you get some quests added to areas we've already explored. By doing so, it puts the game less at risk of being tarnished by content that maybe isn't necessarily enjoyed or liked by players, and also does take advantage of the incredible world that has already been built by CD Projekt Red. But it's all well and good discussing what the DLC could potentially be and how it's going to be done, but what is the actual likelihood of something like this happening? And if I'm just being honest, as someone who has covered a lot of CD Projekt Red content in the past few months, especially with the entire Cyberpunk update drama, I can 100% confirm I have a lot of faith in something like this going ahead. Purely because CD Projekt Red has an unmatched track record of supporting their games indefinitely with free updates, expansions, and legacy content long after launch, as obviously proven by Cyberpunk. We've seen so many different updates. Recently, we saw update 2.1 in December 2023, 2.2 in early 2024, and only recently we saw update 2.3 in July. We've even seen The Witcher 3 actually get loads of content alongside that next-gen update in 2023, where we actually saw it get the Netflix gear sets, although they did look quite ugly, especially the Nilfgaard one, as well as ray tracing and 60 FPS on consoles. Obviously followed by these ongoing patches, including the major 2026 update announced, we know that CD Projekt Red are actively working on The Witcher. It's also not out the realm of possibilities for CD Projekt Red to actually outsource work to other companies. They've already worked with Fool's Theory, and they've actually recently worked with Virtuos on that recent Cyberpunk 2.3 update. All of the rumors align with CD Projekt Red's sort of model that they have when it comes to updating their games post-launch. As well as this, the podcast who actually leaked this entire sort of situation also previously leaked the Phantom Liberty Idris Elba casting. It's not often that I say this, but there is honestly nothing that I have seen here to downplay this rumor that something like this could happen. I am really optimistic The Witcher 3 is going to be getting additional content. Whether it be additional content like an entire DLC to try and help bridge The Witcher 3 and Witcher 4, whether it just be some numerous side quests that we can find spread throughout the world, it doesn't matter. Any sort of content here for The Witcher 3, the greatest game of all time in my opinion, that would be more than welcome. But anyway, I'd like to know what you think in the comments. What do you think the likelihood of a DLC happening for The Witcher 3 actually is? And if so, would you actually be excited for a DLC like this? I think no matter what, there is definitely stuff to look forward to for The Witcher 3 console players, especially because we are getting that mod support in late 2026, so let's hope that we can get something like an additional DLC just to be the cherry on top of that. But anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know what you think down below, and make sure to stick around for content on your favorite RPGs.